Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. Tom Leach along with Keeneland's Director of Simulcasting, Jim Goodman. And this is our podcast for the Saturday card at Keeneland. 4 stakes races that we'll take a look at, including, also including the late pick 4. So, Jim, will start in the 5th race with the Grade 3 Ben Ally on the dirt at 1 mile and an 1/8. A pretty well-matched group here. Who did you land on?
Well, I couldn't choose between the 2 horses that I like, so I'm going to do an Exacta box with Farhan, the 3, and Protonico, the 5 horse. Farhan is probably my top choice off that race at Saratoga last August. Kieran can get him ready off the layoff. He's 39% with over a 6-month layoff, which is incredible number. So not worried about that part. He was really good at Saratoga. He ran in the Ben Ali last year at Keeneland. Of course, that was on poly, so you can't really compare it. But his dirt race at Saratoga was outstanding. So I think he's my top choice in here. I can make a case for neck and neck golden ticket. I wish you well if he runs in here, other than he's cross-entered, I think, maybe at Oaklawn. But Protonico is the one that's a big question mark because he didn't show up at Don Handicap. Went off at 5-1, so he was well thought of there for Pletcher, and he quit down the lane. I'm assuming that he wasn't in the race and he just eased him up. He came back and worked at 47 flat for 4 furlongs, the first of 93 on April 5th. So I think he's ready. So I'm going to use Protonico and Farhan in an Exacta box here, 3-5.
I ended up with a slight edge to Protonico, mainly because of Pletcher. I don't know that he'd be in this spot if he wasn't back. Sharp workouts suggest that whatever happened in Florida has been taken care of. And I don't see a whole lot of speed in here, and I think he could go to the front and maybe seize the lead and be real tough to pass. So I'm going to pick Protonico. We'll use him in Exactas with Farhan, with Neck and Neck, and also with Golden Ticket, who I think is the only Grade 1 winner in the race from his sharing of the Travers back in his 3-year-old year. Let's move to the 7th race. It's on the turf, 5.5 furlongs for fillies and mares, the Giants Causeway. These are great betting races more often than not, but you got 2 pretty good favorites in here, and Free as a Bird and Ageless, who have won races here at Keeneland before. I ended up giving a slight edge to Free as a Bird because she's already run this year, real sharp in her return. She likes Keeneland, so I give her the nod over Ageless, but I think either one certainly could win. Jewel of the Cat, I took a long look at, well drawn down on the inside with some speed. So I think if you're doing horizontal wagers, you'd want to include Jewel of a Cat as well. And then the other one for me was Richie's Party Girl, the 1 horse with some speed down on the inside as well. But I'm going to key everything around the 11, Free as a Bird, my pick to win the Giants Causeway. How about you?
Yeah, I think so too. And I think we talk about well drawn on the inside. Free as a Bird is drawn exactly where she wants to be. I don't know how they work this out with Ian Wilkes, but out of the 10-hole, last time out at Gulfstream, out of the 10-hole, the last race at Keeneland last fall, and then out of the 9-hole, the Giants Causeway last year. So she loves it out there, and 5.5 furlongs sets up perfectly for us. I'm going to take her. She's 6 in a row, not out of the Exacta in 2014 and 2015. Loves it outside, so I'm going to take her on top. Going to use Ageless, who came out of the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint at 36-1, almost beat Bobby's Kitten and No Nay Never. Only got beat by 3/4 of a length. Jewel of a Cat, inside speed with Paco Lopez. Same horses you listed, but the races. I love these races too. They're wide open, and sometimes a horse like Jewel of a Cat can get an easy lead and keep it. I think Free as a Bird runs her down though in the stretch. So Free as a Bird on top for me.
Let's go to the 9th race. It's the Grade 1 Jenny Wiley on the turf at 1 mile and a 16th. Really good group here, including horses that ran in the QE2 last fall as 3-year-olds. Where did you go in Jenny Wiley?
Well, Hard Not to Like is coming back off the win last year in the Jenny Wiley, and ran well at Tampa, got disqualified and placed 2nd. So Christophe Clement brings Hard Not to Like back. Ball Dancing for Chad Brown, I can make a case off the Hillsborough and lost to Stephanie's Kitten by a length and a half. I can make a case for Neil Pessin, who would love to win a Grade 1 here at Keeneland. Eden Prairie has a shot here coming off the Fairgrounds race. So I can make a case for all those horses, but the one I'm going with, Bill Mott, Joel Rosario, and Philimbi. He didn't run well. She did not run well in the Hillsborough, but she got off to a bad start. I don't know that it was ever her kind of race and just didn't finish. But going back into her history, she loses to Somali Lemonade, Day at the Spa, Abaco, and then she wins races over Emotional Kitten, Strathnaver, and Day at the Spa. So I think she fits very well here, and I'm going to take Philimbi on top. I'm going to use Ball Dancing and Hard Not to Like below, probably Emotional Kitten just because of the Ramsey Ward connection, and put all in the last leg to try to hit a price in the try.
I'm going to go with Philimbi as well. I thought she had some trouble in that 2015 debut. Rosario keeps the mount, and real sharp workout in preparation for this, and I like that. Mott's horses have been running well. So Philimbi for me, and, when you've got to narrow it down somehow. So I ended up tossing Hard Not to Like from my ticket and used Philimbi and Exactas with the 4 Ball Dancing, the 7 Emotional Kitten, and the 1 Personal Diary. But it's a tough race to start shrinking this field. It's a really well-matched group, as it usually is. The 10th race is the Grade 3 Coolmore Lexington Stakes, one of the last chances for owners to pick up Derby points for their horses. And the favorite's probably going to be Divining Rod, who was third behind Carpe Diem in the Tampa Bay Derby. But I didn't see anything special out of that performance. I'm looking at one of these maiden winners to jump up and get this, and I'm going to go for Comfort, trained by Todd Pletcher. This horse was purchased after that February 12th victory, private purchase, and turned over to Pletcher, and that's a huge trainer upgrade. And then this horse surely showed some nice ability in that performance. So I'm going to give the nod to Comfort. Donworth, off just a single first out maiden win, is in here for Graham Motion. And it was a very impressive maiden win for this horse. Generated a lot of buzz with what he had overcome, so he merits a look. Fame and Power coming in from the West Coast for Baffert off a maiden win. You always have to respect Baffert when he ships. So I'm going to key on Comfort. I'm going to use Donworth, Fame and Power, and Divining Rod with him in Exactas. And I think there's a good chance one of those horses coming off a maiden win is going to win the Lexington Stakes, and those are the 3 that I'm going to use in my late pick 4. But who do you like in the Lexington?
I'm right with you. Donworth scratched out of an allowance race on Thursday to run in here, and was talking to a pretty good handicapper that spent the winter at Gulfstream, and he said that March 14th win, everybody's all over Donworth, was so impressed with that run, and even though he's only been out one time, Graham Motion's a great trainer, and I think he's very well meant here, and I think he's got a real shot to win, and just off that one lifetime start. It's hard to pick over horses that have been out 4 and 5 times, but I'm going to take him on top. Divining Rod, you've got to use off the Tampa Bay Derby. You get beat by one of the best horses in the country by 7 lengths, and the race right before that, in the Sam Davis, he ran right behind Ocean Knight, so I think he's got a real shot. I could use Comfort in here. I could also use Fame and Power. So the same horses that you used, except in a little different order. I think Donworth may get a little bit better price than Comfort, simply because Pletcher's training Comfort and Castellano's riding. So Donworth, the 7 horse, is my pick in the Coolmore Lexington.
What about your late pick 4?
All right, late pick 4. If I can get my stuff together here. First race, and I like the way that Rogers and Ben shifted these races around. We took the Ben Ali and made it the 5th race, which makes it a nice little stakes race that ends the pick 4. I like starting the late pick 4 with a maiden special weight because you can look at the horses on the track, you can look at first-time starters, see how much steam they're getting from the wagers, so you can put together a pick 4 ticket a lot easier than that race stuck in the 3rd leg, say, of the pick 4. So the maiden special weight, I took Super Humor, the first-time starter for Mark Cassey, the 3, Amazing Party, the 7 for Ian Wilkes and Le Peru, first-time starter for John Cowan and Florence Giroux, All Day Alice might be a price, the 8 horse, off a really good work at Keeneland here on April 4th. So that's the 8 horse, and also used the 10 Flying Jive for Dallas Stewart. So 3, 7, 8, 10. I'm going to push the all button in the Jenny Wiley. I like Philimbi, but I really can't toss anything in there, so I'm going to push the all button there and go like the last couple races. I'm going to use in the Coolmore Lexington, I'm going to use Divining Rod, the 1, and the 7 Donworth. So I'm standing on 2 choices there. And then in the last race, the 11th, I'm going to go 7 and 9, which is Arqueel, Araqueel, Arqueel, for Chad Brown and Castellano. That's an obvious choice. And Paternal Pride coming out of Fairgrounds with Robbie Alvarado. So 7, 9 in the last leg.
8th race, I'm going 4 deep. playtime. When Shug McGahee debuts his horses at 7 furlongs, I think they're usually a little more well meant for their first start than when he debuts them at shorter distances. So playtime merits a lot of respect there. I'll use the 3, the 7, and the 5 as well. Going to use Filimbi and Ball Dancing in the Jenny Wiley and go with just those 2. Then I'm going to use the 3 horses coming off maiden wins, the 2, 6, and 7 in the Lexington Stakes, Coolmore Lexington. In the last race, I want to go 4 deep. I want Indebted, Erkiel, Danish Dynaformer, and Baldanel, 4, 7, 5, 8. So 4, 3, 7, 5 by 3, 4 by 2, 6, 7 by 4, 5, 7, 8 for my late pick 4 ticket. Best of luck on your wagers, and keep your Keeneland Select accounts fully funded. Remember, we'll also do a separate podcast for the Saturday card out at Oaklawn Park. Take a look at the Arkansas Derby. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach, and this is the In the Money Podcast.